Am I live? Am I live? I think I might be. Just going to wait a couple seconds here. All right. I think I'm live here in the Women Over 50 It's Time, and this time it's about you group. If anyone is out there and can see me or hear me, I would love it if you would leave a comment and let me know that I am, in fact, live. Okay. Hey, Julie Scott here, coming in live as promised to provide you with a masterclass on how to access your power. I'm going to be coming in live today, tomorrow, and also on Thursday. And I broke it up into 3 days because I'm thinking, who wants to sit and watch anyone talk for 2 hours? So I'm breaking this up into 3 days. And so I split up my trainings the way I like to consume trainings in like 20 or 30-minute chunks. So that's what this is going to be today. Again, this is the how to access your power and actually how to use it to better your life. That's part of what I'm going to be covering. And I'm just thinking that maybe some of you, when you looked at that poll that I put up to even do this training or even the title of this event, maybe you thought, what are you going to be talking about? Some people understand what this is, some people don't. But I chose this topic because it's near and dear to my heart because for so many years, I felt powerless in my own life. And I talk to and I work with women all the time that also feel powerless in their lives as well. So, and I imagine that each one of you at one point or another in your life has felt powerless, whether it's been in your workplace as a woman, in a personal or a family relationship, or maybe with your health you felt powerless. And hey, even with the pandemic, right? I mean, a lot of us felt helpless around everything that was happening over the last couple of years. So I know everyone understands what it feels like to feel powerless, but I want to help you understand how to access your power. Just to be clear, I'm not talking about your ability to maneuver or control other people or situations. I'm actually talking about your own personal power. And I define it as a product of a state of mind, heart, and spirit. And it's about being your authentic self and creating the life that you want. So I think it's appropriate for this group. I also believe that it's something that you're born with. It's God given. So we all have power that's given to us, and it's just whether or not we access it, okay? So just to give you some ideas of what I'm going to be doing. So over the next couple of days, I'm going to be covering how to recognize when you're giving your power away, tips on how to break that habit of giving your power away, and finally, how to know when you're truly accessing your power so that you can stand in it and use it to better your life, okay? Now, for those of you who don't know my story, I have shared a fair amount in the group already, but maybe you didn't see the post. I mean, there's like 7,000 women in this group. So I'm going to share a little bit about my story in my own, what I call lived experience, because I experienced it and nobody can question it. It's my own lived experience, and you all have yours too. And I know what it feels like to be out of touch with my own power. So the thing is I was married in the past, and I'm in a relationship now, but we're not married. We gave each other toe rings. Another story. At any rate, I was married, and during the time that I was married, that's really when I felt powerless. And I don't think I felt powerless because I was married. That's not what I'm saying. It was just that time in my life I recognized that I didn't feel powerful. And I didn't start out like that in the relationship or whatever. It just, my cat is running around here like crazy. So I apologize if you see a streak of white running through here. So it didn't start out like that. And I don't really know when I started feeling powerless. I just know that it was just something that became my default setting, and it just kind of crept up on me. So it became my default setting. And for all those years, I was ignoring my dreams. I didn't even know if I had any dreams. I ignored pretty much everything that had to do with what I wanted in my life. If you're here watching, please say hello. I'd love to know I'm not alone. If you want to just say hi, I appreciate it. But you wouldn't know from the outside that I, you know, was in this place of feeling powerless. I put on such a great show. I smiled, I kept my mouth shut, and I went along with what my husband wanted to do, what other people in my life wanted to do. I just didn't want to. I told myself, I don't want to argue. I don't want to fight. I want to keep the peace, right? I didn't want to rock the boat. I wanted to be that cool chick, right? That cool, low maintenance woman that was easygoing. I didn't want to be a bitch, right? And I didn't want to lose my husband. I wanted to keep my relationship together. I did all these things. And I spent decades of my life doing everything for everyone else, putting my own wants and needs aside. And I just, I didn't even know I was doing it. I was a good girl. I did what a good girl does. That's what I was brought up to do, right? I wanted to show what a good wife I could be, and what a great stepmom to his children I could be, and what a good employee for my boss I could be, and what a good daughter I could be. I mean, it showed up in every area of my life. I was just a good girl. And that's a good person does all that, right? I mean, that's what I told myself. And yet all the while, I was losing myself, and I didn't know it. I was losing myself. I was not speaking my truth. I was not asking for anything. And I was lost. I felt lost, and I felt powerless in my own life. And the thing is, too, it's like for a long time, I sat in that. It's not like once I recognized I was powerless, I just, made all these awesome changes and poof, here I am. No, I sat in it for a long time. Even after I recognized what was going on, I sat in it because I told myself things like, I should be happy with what I have. I started comparing myself to other people who were in worse circumstances, who didn't live in the United States. You name it. I did everything I could to keep myself right where I was. It's like, I should be happy. I should just be grateful. Many people have less than me, Who am I to want more? And that whole frame of mind was just keeping me right where I was, bitter, angry, resentful, all the things. I'm sorry, my cat I hope you can't hear him tearing through the house. Anyway, I had no idea how pretending to be happy was just destroying me. It really was. And when I think about it, I was just on autopilot. Like I was completely unaware and never realizing that I had the power all along to change it. Me, just me. I was the only one that could change it, and I had the power all along. So after a while, a slow burn, I call it, my marriage ended. Okay, I had an affair. That's what I did. That's the powerful stance I took. I cheated on my husband. And I looked around my life after we split up, and I thought, how did I get here? How did I get here? Who am I? It was crazy. I realized that I had always made everyone around me more important than me. And I had done this my whole life. I was taught as a child to be a people pleaser. That's what I grew up to be. Not blaming anyone, but I can see how it started. So I knew in my heart that if I was ever going to be really happy and truly happy, I had to make myself a priority. I had to put myself first. I had to be selfish. It's almost a 4-letter word, even though it's a longer. Selfish. I had to be selfish, right? And so I did. I finally put myself first. And I shifted all that attention, that energy to me that I would put on everyone else. I put that powerful attention back on myself. and I made changes, right? And since I made that decision to put myself first, so much has changed. So much has changed in my life. I've allowed myself, I've given myself permission to have, be, do whatever I want. I mean, it's incredible, that feeling that these are the kinds of things that have changed. Like I live where I want to live now. I moved out of Los Angeles after 33 years of living there. I was not happy there. I do work that I love, that I know I was put on earth to do. And it doesn't feel like work ever. Not ever. I trust myself and I trust the wisdom of my body and what it tells me, and I listen to it and I pay attention to it. I released about 25 pounds of weight that I'd been carrying around for years. Losing, gaining, losing, gaining, losing, gaining. It just fell off of me. It's gone. I'm healthier than I've ever been. I'm in a loving, supportive relationship, as I mentioned earlier. This will be our 13th year together. I surround myself with people that don't drag me down, but they lift me up and they challenge me to be the best that I can be. And we have so much fun together. And I know that I'm creating all of this. Like, I'm not lucky. I created all of this. Everything that I'm grateful for every day, I created. And I'm still creating. There's still more. And I'm allowing myself to expand even more. Okay? And I just feel so happy, so peaceful, and so content. Literally every area of my life has been upgraded once I put myself first. I mean, it wasn't just one, it was everything. So it's like, I look at it like the water rises and all ships lift up. All areas of your life change once you start taking back your power, stepping into it. So that's what we're talking about. All right. So I can look back now and I can see that those feelings of powerlessness it was just a message from my mind and my body to wake up and take back my life. Okay. So it wasn't enough though for me to just realize that I'd been sleepwalking through my life. I had to learn to recognize when and what I was doing to actually give my power away. Okay. So I'm going to dive into recognizing how and when you're giving your power away. So for me, and again, I always speak from my own experience because I know that's true because I've lived it. Okay. For me, it's a physical feeling and it's right in my gut. It's always in my gut. And it's a sinking feeling. It's that feeling like when someone lets you down, or something doesn't work out, only I'm doing it to myself. Okay. I'm the creator of it. And here's a fact. I don't know if you guys are into this kind of stuff, but this is based on epigenetics, and I study epigenetics. If you're not familiar with what it is, I highly recommend that you look it up and learn about it because just that knowledge will change your life. That's for another conversation. I'll talk about that in here, but not yet. Okay. Here's a fact. Giving your power away affects your body physically. Okay. I mean, I've seen women who give their power away, they stuff their emotions, and they carry weight all around their midsection and their hips and their butt, all in those bottom 3 chakras. That's where they've stuffed all their emotions for years, and it just stays there in stagnant energy, and the weight just clings to it. And it's stubborn weight that they can't lose. And I've seen them release that weight once they release those emotions. Again, but giving your power away affects your body physically. That's just one way. Pain, illness, and disease is simply your body's way of communicating to you where you are living with an imbalance of power. You may think that this sounds crazy, but I assure you it is not. The power to heal lies in your willingness to come to terms with and face those feelings that have left you powerless in the past. And I just want to say, I've studied this a lot, and I want to share another book with you that I highly recommend. I always have it here on my desk. You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. There's a section in here with physical ailments and mental causes of those things. And I got to just say, I didn't believe in this kind of thing. I didn't for years, but over the years of my studies and what I've learned and what I've experienced, there is a lot of validity here. So I used to have a lot of back pain. In fact, I used to have a lot of lower back pain when I used to be completely broke, like financially in ruin for many years because of my own doing. And just for the record, under back problems, and it was always my lower back, the mental cause for that, fear of money, lack of financial support. Anyways, side note, just more information for you. Always expanding, always learning. Please check things out and make your own decision of what feels and resonates, true for you. But that's just some of the things that resonate for me. So back to this. How to recognize when you are actually giving away your power. Okay. Now here are some examples that signal that you're giving away your power. And some of you may know, some of you may not. Okay. First, you don't say what you want. Now, I'm not saying ever, but a lot. You don't say what you want. Or you say yes when you want to say no, for whatever reason. You don't express what you're feeling, and you pretend everything is fine. This was me, big time. Next, you stopped dreaming. You're putting your desires on the back burner or off the stove altogether. Or you don't do what you want, whether it's in work or in your relationships or other areas of your life. Okay, you just don't do what you want. You do what other people want. Or you do what you should. I did this too, out of obligation or what I call imagined responsibility. Okay. I remember when I got out of high school, I went to college because I should go to college. I spent many years of my life doing things that I thought I should do to please my parents, to be like my sisters, to be the norm, whatever that is, in society of what a woman does. Okay, so next. This is a good one. You're not choosy about who you spend your precious time with. Maybe you spend your time with negative people, toxic people that drag you down into feeling even more powerless because they feel that way too. And incidentally, we attract like tracks alike. So just look around. If you're spending your time with people who are dragging you down and you have this desire to pull yourself up, you may need to rethink who you're spending the majority of your time with. Next, you don't trust yourself. I didn't trust myself. You don't trust yourself with decisions. You don't check in with your intuition of what feels right for you. Okay? Things like that. Or you worry about the future. Or you dwell in the past. See, these are all ways that to recognize that you're giving away your power. Or you're hard on yourself. I think we're all hard on ourselves. Okay, so that's giving away your power. Or you don't forgive yourself. You believe that you've lost all of your power. You didn't. It's not true. But you believe that you have. Next, you don't know your worth or that you are worthy of whatever it is that you want. And finally, you believe that you're not enough. So that's just a list that I came up with that helps you recognize when you're actually giving your power away. When you think those things or you do those things, that's a signal that you're giving your power away. And I'll bet you it's followed by you feeling something physically in your body that, for me, feels like a sinking feeling. Okay, so I just want you to get good at becoming, it's all about raising your awareness to know what you're doing, right? Raise your awareness, okay? Now, I'm a recovering people pleaser, so all of these things were things that I was doing myself too. And sometimes I still do some of these things and I catch myself doing them and I'm like, what am I doing? Right? But I mean, I'm better at catching myself. And one thing I do know for sure, it's like, I'm not going to, this work that I do on myself all the time and with people that I work with, it's like, I can't get it wrong and I can't get it done. It's like it's something I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life. So I want you guys to know that if you're going to step off and do some sort of self-help for yourself in any way, it's like please give yourself grace because it's a lifelong process of just becoming more and more aware of what you're thinking and feeling, okay? Now, if several of these hit home for you, I really don't want you to beat yourself up, okay? It's like, again, awareness. It's the mother of change. So being aware is the first step. So just now you know, right? You have a list, now you know, okay? So that's all I'm going to share with you today because I don't want to drag on too long, okay? So that was just the list of how to recognize when you're giving your power away, okay? And I do want to offer to you guys something that I put together a long time ago that was kind of the first steps that I took in taking back some of my power. I call it People Pleasers Anonymous. Okay, it's just a 12-step guide. It's free to start recognizing maybe where you can make some changes. And it kind of eases you into this process of setting boundaries, saying no, things like that. So if anyone would like that People Pleasers Anonymous guide, free guide, just put please underneath this video and I will make sure I get that to you. Again, if you'd like the free guide, People Pleasers Anonymous, just put a note underneath this saying please. And I'm sorry, I should have looked to see if anyone was commenting. I don't think anyone has. But if you guys have any questions around this, please let me know. And I will be back tomorrow with day 2 of how to access your power. And tomorrow is going to be Meteor, and it's going to cover a lot more ground. So it may be a little bit longer than it was today, but I would love to have you join me. If you found some value in this portion of the training, please let me know. I'd love your feedback. I want to create valuable things in this group. That's my desire. That's my intent. So if you enjoyed this, please share it with other people. I think you can do that outside the group. If not, you can always invite your friends who are women over 50 into the group and they can watch it here. So with that, thank you for your time, for your attention today. And it's 22:22 on 2/22. Anyway, if you got some value out of this, please let me know. And that's all I have for you today. And I will be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time again. Bye.